hello there. Hi, hello, it's me, ya boy. What's going on? Last couple of days have been pretty funny. I've seen a whole lot of people freaking the fuck out, and as they do, as they do. That does seem to be a commonality. I talk about something and then the people involved freak the fuck out. But, that's just how much power I have. I haven't caught up on the comment section from Sundays. But apparently it's on fire. Hello me, hello Chesh, hello Chesh 2, hello Chesh 3, hello Chesh 4. Hi everyone. We're all Cheshes here. So today we're going to talk about Johnny Somali. Now, I don't know the majority of what's gone on with this. I've heard rumors. I haven't looked into it super duper hard, which is what we're doing today. Today we're gonna look into it and see what happened. It's been suggested a lot to talk about because I guess it's got some really interesting legal aspects to it. Yeah, I've heard Johnny is cooked. Johnny is cooked does seem to be the the ultimate summation of what's gone on. It's very long and it gets insane. Yeah, so well, I'm gonna start with Amnesty International. Um, so like I'm gonna start with like the articles and see what's written. Uh, so this is Japan. Not this was from 2023. So we're rolling it back, right? Because this has been going on for a while, and we're gonna start here. So, Japan endless detention, migrants speak out as government proposes harsh immigration bill. So it's almost like immigration and isolationist ideas are not solely American, right? It's not solely the United States participating and kind of going in these kinds of directions. But so, ahead of Japan's government's latest attempt to push through repressive legislation that will reinforce its power to detain migrants indefinitely, asylum seekers and others have spoken out about the inherent cruelty in the country's immigration system. More than 30 migrants and asylum seekers interviewed for a piece of Amnesty International research, some of whom have been held for several years, said harsh immigration detention conditions and policies had driven some detainees to undertake hunger strikes and even attempt suicide. Their stories come as Japan's parliament considers a new amendment to refugee and immigration law that would undermine migrant rights. Quote, migrants have painted a grim picture of what it's like to claim refugee status in Japan. Far from being helped in their hour of need, they speak of being subjected to arbitrary, endless detention in prison-like immigration facilities. Quote, their testimonies made clear that Japan's immigration detention system needs reform, but instead, the Japan authorities are attempting to pass an amendment bill that will enable them to carry on detaining asylum seekers and other irregular migrants by default. So apparently it is the second attempt to pass the bill. This is 2020. This was posted in 2023. So blah blah blah. Don't care about that. Hunger strikes, denial of asylum and denial of freedom. Yeah, under international human rights laws, migrants, refugees, and asylum seekers must benefit from a legal presumption of liberty. If they are subject to any deprivation of liberty, this must be clearly prescribed by law, strictly justified by a legitimate purpose, necessary, proportionate, and non-discriminatory. Right? So the reason this is important to know about what's going on in Japan is because if you don't know what's going on in Japan, you don't know what's going to happen to Johnny. Because Johnny has gotten himself in trouble in Japan. He's gotten in trouble in Japan and South Korea, as far as I understand. So for anybody who doesn't know, they basically, this guy's he travels around and vlogs about where he's traveled to. Right? Does that make sense? The person who's been covering this the most so far has been Adzoy. So let's take a look and sort of just briefly look about what we're looking at.
This, he'll automatically receive 20 years in.
I can't hear it. You can hear it. I need to be able to hear it. Oh, please hold. There we go.
Prison.
I'm sure the government is going to punish or do everything that they can against Vitaly to help to hold him accountable or liable.
And that's what the Filipino attorney told me today in regards to the Vitaly situation in the Philippines. Because a few weeks ago, the Russian-American creator Vitaly thought it would be a great idea to steal a motorcycle, an industrial fan, a red light mask, and a couple guard hats, and then harass a bunch of Filipino citizens for his own live stream content. This, surprisingly, when you look at his past record, was the worst decision of his life, especially stealing the motorcycle. Because in the Philippines, stealing a car or a motorcycle is an automatic 20-year prison sentence. But
so this guy and Johnny stream together. Side note, I really like the background. I used to have one of these playmats as a kid.
because he never turned on the motorcycle, there's some room for discussion about the potential charge, as he hasn't formally been charged for that yet. Clearly, I'm way out in the deep end here, so I decided to contact the practicing Filipino attorney and YouTube creator, attorney Neil Abayan. And here he had a lot of information to share with us in regards to how the legal process in the Philippines works and how big of a mess Vitaly accidentally landed himself into is. How was the reaction within the Philippines of what Vitaly did?
So first, it was pretty much covered by the mainstream media. That's why there were interviews conducted against the government officers. So one of the most viral, or is it viral is a proper term? One of the videos or interviews that was heavily covered was with the Secretary of Interior local government here. The one that...
See, this is a little bit interesting too. There's a really big difference between local media and like mainstream media in other countries, right? So I'm used to what I get in Canada. I'm sure if you're from in the United States, you're used to what you get in the United States. Similar, like not unsimilar to Logan Paul and the Death Forest, right? Where you're gonna get these stories end up blowing up in these countries in a way that I think the YouTubers don't necessarily expect them to, right? Because they're so used to the United States media. And the United States media, there's so much going on in the United States, and so much of the media is sensationalized, and so much of the media is just like this 24/7 doomer coverage all of the time. Something like streamer steals a motorcycle, it doesn't get a whole ton of attention. But if you pull that same kind of stunt in another country, suddenly this is like an international incident, right? It's the same with was it Logan Paul again that went to Mexico and flew a drone through like one of the temple sites that is like supposed to be no access, and they went anyway, right?
When Vitaly was brought behind him. And Vitaly, was making gestures, disrespectful gestures. So that guy was the secretary of the Department of Interior local government, who has jurisdiction over the local government units here, over the police, and so on.
Is there a lot of pressure from the Philippines to essentially actually punish this guy for what he did?
I'm sure the government is going to punish or do.
Oh, it was Mr. Beast that flew the drone. That's right. It was Mr. Beast that did the drone thing. You right.
Do everything that they can against Vitaly to help to hold him accountable or liable.
So Vitaly just stumbled into being a pawn in some political game potentially.
Yes, that could be one thing.
So what they did there, that is not normal for criminals to be brought out like that.
Yes, because first and foremost, Vitaly's not the...
They basically perp walked him to the extreme. That's interesting. That's so interesting.
Only foreigner who was declared as an unfavorable alien, But because of what he did, he covered it in his social media. He conducted live streams with it.
Yeah.
So they treated him extra special, basically.
Wow.
I mean, if he wants to be a special boy, he may as well be treated as a special little boy. I mean, like, what did you expect? What did you fucking expect? Oh no, he got a push from. Of course he did.
What's the ongoing process he's currently going through?
There isn't really that much updates from the mainstream media news outlets here because they covered it for like a week. Then after that, it basically died down already. So the last
Yeah, because it's probably mostly resolved, and there's not a whole ton of drama around it because it's pretty cut and dry, right? He filmed himself doing the thing. There's not going to be a whole lot to talk about. This is from May, by the way. This is from 3 months ago.
the last articles I was able to read, they've already filed cases against him, and that he's in detention with the Bureau of Immigration. So I'm assuming he's undergoing deportation proceedings together with criminal charges. So just to give you an idea, for the
Well, the other question is where are they going to deport him back to? Are they going to deport him back to Russia? Because I don't know what the relationship between the Philippines and Russia is right now. Does anybody in the chat happen to know how Russia and the Philippines are currently politically engaged? Because I'm honestly not sure. I'm not sure what the relationship is right now.
criminal cases that was already most likely filed or probably will be filed against him, from the news articles I saw, it's basically bailable offenses that they charge him with: the unjust vexation and a couple of theft cases. Those are all bailable crimes here in the Philippines. So what's going on also, since he's most likely also undergoing deportation proceedings with the Bureau of Immigration, the right to bail is not automatically guaranteed in deportation proceedings because a deportation proceeding is not a criminal case. So there's already decided cases for that with the Supreme Court. So basically my point here is that Vitaly will not be automatically be released while the deportation proceedings is undergoing together with the criminal cases.
Okay.
How could you be so stupid? Wow, other countries actually put you through trial before deporting you. Nonsense. Yeah, I know, right? What the fuck? This is a mindset that I'll never understand, I think. It's the same with, like, there is an extradition treaty. Okay, so there's an extradition treaty between Russia and Philippines. So the deportation will likely, assuming the proceedings and legal proceedings go as expected, then there shouldn't be any issue with Vitaly getting deported and sent back to Russia. Whether or not he'll go to prison in Russia, who knows? I don't know. This is a mindset that I'll never understand, and it's just going to somebody's house and trashing it. Because that's basically what they're doing, right? These guys are going around, they're going to another country, they're filming themselves making a mess wherever they go in that country. We've seen Logan Paul do it in Japan, we've seen Mr. Beast do it in Mexico, we're seeing Vitaly and doing it in the Philippines here, we've seen Johnny doing it in Korea and in Japan. Like, Egypt as well. I'm pretty sure Mr. Beast did in Egypt as well. Like, I just don't understand the mindset of somebody who does this. You blame Jackass? Jackass did that shit in their own backyard, though. They had, like, a proper filming crew. These are just assholes with phones. Because they're young and dumb and rich, and people let them get away with it. Yeah, having crime only being penalized by, like, monetary value does not that just is a play to win system, right? It just means if you have enough money, you can do whatever you want. Right? So I just like the brain the brain you have to just be like, I'm gonna go over to somebody's house uninvited and I'm just gonna trash the place, is like a legitimate mindset that some people have. And like it is definitely a degree of entitlement. It is a degree of entitlement. It also does tend to, like, maybe I'm wrong about this. Maybe I'm overstepping. Let me know if you think I'm overstepping. It does seem to be represented disproportionately in United States citizens. I'm not saying all United States citizens do this when they travel. I'm saying that there tends to be a hefty leaning into the people that engage in this behavior tend to be from the United States. Not all of them, obviously, because Vitaly is Russian, right? I'm simply saying that the number of people that engage in this behavior is disproportionately represented by people from the United States. Bilateral relation. Yeah. I mean, I guess there's a degree of people who do this have money to get away with it, but I mean, you have to have money to travel. So I don't know if that's coincidental or causal in that case, right? Because like if you're gonna travel and you're gonna like film it and run around and do stuff, you have to have enough money to travel in the first place. So it is a something that if you're gonna do it, you have to buy in to be able to do it in the first place. So I mean, I guess with that barrier there, it makes it so that people that don't have money aren't gonna get away with that kind of stuff because they don't have the money to fucking go. Fascinating and painful to watch. Yeah, it's yikes. All right, let's keep going with this a
If
little
that
bit.
makes sense.
Yeah, so he won't be let go on bail currently.
For the deportation proceedings, no. Because
Okay.
again, deportation proceedings are not criminal in nature, so bail is not a matter of right in deportation proceedings. It's not automatic. Unlike if they don't conduct the deportation proceedings, they just go with the criminal cases against him. Like I said, the cases that were filed against him or will be most likely filed against him are all bailable, so they can release him on bail. So that's most likely why he is under currently the jurisdiction of the Bureau of Immigration, so that he won't be able to, bail to apply or post bail right away for the criminal cases.
When is the nearest time he'll be able to essentially bail out or be somewhat free? When do you think that would be?
For the deportation proceedings, there's no bail there. So it's totally discretionary on the Bureau of Immigration if they want to, temporarily release him while he's undergoing the deportation proceedings. For his criminal cases, once it is filed with the prosecutor level, he can already file a motion for bail for that. However, we have to remember, since he's also most likely, or he's probably undergoing also deportation proceedings, he will still be detained in the Bureau of Immigration, even if he will be allowed to post bail for the criminal cases. Those are two different cases, actually.
Yeah.
So he's not getting bail, basically. He's gonna be in there until they deport him, basically, from my understanding. You want me to look up where he's being held? Vitaly let's see. Here's his Wikipedia page. Occupation YouTube personality. That makes me uncomfortable. Russian-born internet content creator. Immigrated to the Russian-born and later immigrated to the United States. Remember then I said a minute ago that it disproportionately is represented by people from the United States, and then I said, but Vitaly is from Russia. Well, wait, what if he doesn't get deported back to Russia? What if he gets deported to the United States? Guys, what if he gets deported to the United States? Do you think he'll get, like, accommodations from Donald Trump and, like, they'll be like, yay! Yeah, pranking and vlogging. Ugh, God, prank YouTube sucks so bad. I hate prank YouTube. The only way prank YouTube is, like, okay is if it's a group of people that are already, like, if it's, like, Jackass. Like, if it's just, like, a handful of guys that are already, like, on board and everything's above board, then it's fine. Hey, girls can be involved too, that's fine. I mean, guys, general. Camp... Okay, hold on. Let me see. Alright, I got it, Tom. Hold on. When did he immigrate? Since April of 2025, he's been under the custody of Philippine government over criminal charges of unjust vexation on 3 counts, theft and public harassment that were broadcast to his Kick livestream. Of course it was Kick. He faces up to 18 months in prison and will not be deported as both Russia and the United States have declined to accept him. So... oh no! So what happens to him? Does he just stay in the Philippines in prison forever? They've both refused to accept him. Fuck around and find out. Holy shit. Oh my god. Bureau of Immigration Detention Center. Oh, that doesn't really tell me anything. That just tells me the location. Here's the Wikipedia on where he's staying. Camp serves many functions. Its gates are enclosed a police academy. Several jail annexes, which house inmates. Some riots. 2 inmates were killed after a noise barrage held in protest over a 5-day power outage. Yeesh. Overcrowding status. As a general rule, for security reasons, the jails within the camp tend to be much less overcrowded than Philippine jails outside. Interesting. So what? So it was just a prank, bro. Oh no. Tell Trump he's Putin's brother. I know, right? So. Oh man. Attempted to become a professional skateboarder. Career pranks. Oh man. Public stunts and arrests. Invading the field during the FIFA World Cup. Oh, it's that guy! Oh! 2016, trespassing. 2016, arrested for streaking. In 2017, arrested for running onto the field again. In 2020, arrested. He spent 5 days in Egyptian jail for climbing the pyramids. In 2020, he was arrested and later charged for aggravated battery. He allegedly tackled a female jogger and struck her multiple times in the head and chest, leaving her with 2-inch cut above her right eye that required stitches. This woman stated she did not know who he was. In 2005, he was arrested by Philippine authorities after live streaming on Kik a series of incidents in which he harassed people in public. In May of 2025, the legal team pleaded Interior Secretary to drop the charges filed, citing mental health reasons. A request which was declined. In June of 2025, faced 3 counts of unjust vexation for which he could serve in prison, a sentence for up to 18 months. With credit for time served during pre-trial detention. If convicted, they stated that he will no longer be deported, as both Russia and the United States government have declined to accept him. Since June 11th, he's been under custody of the Bureau of Management. Vigilantism? During one stream alongside controversial online celebrity Sneeko? Why is Sneeko here? Oh no, Sneeko's been mentioned. Finish your drink. He lured a person who allegedly had been having sexual conversations with a fictional person under the age of 18 into an apartment that he was renting. After he surprised the man coming out of the back room, he decided not to call the police and instead started shaving the person's hair and eyebrows in a way that he said made him look similar to a clown before telling the man he could leave the apartment if he ate his own pubic hair. No arrests were made related to the incident. Oh. What the fuck? He collaborated with Yapper. He's collaborated with Kanye? YG is Kanye, right? That's Kanye? Oh no, this is somebody else. Okay, Keenan. What did fucking Kanye change his name to? Was that YZ? I don't remember. Okay, it's not Kanye. It's some other rapper. Okay. July vigilante operation, which some social media users have described as staged. Paid an American rapper $300,000 to appear in another operation, but he's taken the money and failed to appear. Smart guy. A black people. So he's racist. Okay. No surprise there. Oh my god. Culminated with a man in his 70s being punched in his face, falling on the ground, and hitting his head. In November of 2024, a Hollywood screenwriter filed a lawsuit against him. The plaintiff stated, referring to them as a vigilante group, quote, "This gang wrongfully accuses their victims of pedophilia by filming them with men in their 20s, and then after the fact claiming the men are minors." Oh boy, this is one of the reasons why it's dangerous to run around with accusations of pedophilia. If you just randomly, oh, YE is Kanye. Oh, okay. Yee. Like, you should not, if you do not have evidence and you are not an authority, you should not just arbitrarily accuse people of pedophilia, because it is an actual dangerous thing, and people will, like, you can get people killed, you can get people attacked. So if you're gonna make that accusation, you better fucking have some shit to back it up. Alright. YouTuber posted veil. I titled this wrong. We're looking way more at Vitaly than we are at Johnny so far. Let me edit the stream. There we go. Change the stream title. Okay. YouTuber posted bail. So we got bail. Russian-American vlogger was arrested for harassing Filipinos for content, has posted bail, and was returned to the custody of the Bureau of Immigration. So this is dated 2 months ago. 06/21/2025. Controversial content creator faced criminal charges including unjust vexation. On June 11th was placed under custody until the resolution of this court case. Allowed to post bail on June 18th. He was transferred back to the Bureau of Investigation Warden's facility inside the camp. Quote, because he faces a deportation case, even if he files for bail for his local cases, he will be returned to the custody of Bureau of Investigation. So exactly like that this guy was saying. This guy was 100% correct. That guy nailed it. He will not be allowed to roam around as he is already seen as an undesirable alien. Oof. Previously submitted a request for temporary liberty under bail, noting that he didn't intend to evade deportation and would only stay within the National Capital Region. He said that the content creator will not be deported until his cases are resolved and he serves any sentence given to him. On April 2nd, he was caught by the Filipino authorities in his hotel. Was after he was seen messing around with Filipinos. Yeah, I don't think anybody's questioning about whether or not he did it. Right? But he has posted bail, at least for the criminal portion, at this point. The last place I'd want to get locked up in prison that I'd actually visit is the Philippines. Yeah, I wouldn't want to get locked up in prison anywhere. And apparently there's a sketch of him. Can I open the image? This is the court sketch. That's so funny. IRL court. So this guy at Z fucking went and recorded or was at the court and he did a court sketch. This is the court sketch. All right, so the other one is Johnny, right? So let's take a look. This is also Atsoy. Atsy, whatever. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Let's go.
Influencer ever create content for the internet because he truly thinks nothing will ever happen to him, even though he's already pleaded guilty to multiple charges in his ongoing Korean criminal case. And still, he's out on the street racking up more and more felonies daily while all of this is going on. And I've been covering influencers doing stupid stuff for over a decade now, and I've never seen someone continue to commit felonies in a foreign country while having an ongoing criminal trial. It's like he wants to be stuck there forever. And clearly this is taking a massive toll on him. And
that is actually a little what? Man, I don't know. I'm new here. I can't read. I don't understand. Like, we've been watching and following, like, the company and their legal case and their legal proceedings. And Johnny is doing the same thing. It's like, just stop breaking the law. You already have cases against you. Stop doing the thing that is under the case that you're fucking working. Like, why would you keep doing it? Atosi. Was I right the first time? He threatened to show up to the court in a KKK robe. He what? In Japan or in Korea? What the fuck? I don't... Okay. Why? Why are these people like this? I don't understand.
His only friend who's financially supporting him, as his family seems to have started to cut him off from family funds. So I guess instead of reeling things in
Good?
and trying to behave, he wants to find out exactly how much time South Korea can possibly give him. I think his confidence is still high because, you know, when he went to Japan, they let him go with only 3 months of jail time. But the big difference here, though, is in Japan, he was thrown in jail and therefore he stopped committing felonies while he was in jail. Now,
Good point. This is again an instance where I don't understand that the I don't know if it's the legal system that is not on board with the way the internet behaves yet. Like, it hasn't caught up. People like this, people like Aaron, people like Renell, people like Veda, people like Johnny, people like Vitaly, they will not stop unless they are forcefully stopped. Mr. Beast is never going to stop doing what he's doing because he thinks he can just pay to win to get him out, right? Like, the game is rigged in their favor so they can do whatever they want. They're not going to stop unless they are forcibly stopped. And I really do think that court systems need to be a little bit on board more with the idea of being like, no, your internet access is now restricted. Like, you are not allowed to participate in social media. You are not allowed to participate in these, like, that needs to be like something that gets dropped on somebody's head a lot faster. Because, like, it seems like courts are very, very tentative, and apparently not just in the United States. Courts, like, around the world are incredibly tentative about taking away people's, like, rights to social media or people's rights to blah, 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 blah. And the answer is, like, I feel like that it needs to almost come along with, like, house arrest, right? It's like, oh, well, we're just gonna give you house arrest, but you're also not allowed to have access to any of your social media. Right, so, like, instead of being arrested and thrown in jail, you're arrested and you're not allowed on the internet. Like, that seems to be, like, and we've seen this multiple times with the people we've covered or the people we've talked about. They do not have the mental fortitude to be able to control themselves online. They can't, they're reactive, they don't have the inhibition that would generally, that little voice in your head that's like, hey, maybe don't do that thing. Or they have no impulse control, right? And or their impulse control has been, like, just as soon as they're online, just stops, like, it's just completely inhibited. I know the court can force you to not be okay on the internet. Right? Yeah, the court can't make you behave a specific way. The court can prevent you from being there in the first place. There are people with no head voice. I don't have a head voice. I don't hear things in my brain.
South Korea, they have a different approach where they travel ban him and let him provide for himself rather than the South Korean taxpayer. This seems to have kind of driven the guy crazy because now he's basically broke, banned on every streaming platform, so because of that, he has no real way of making any decent money. We found out that he wasn't being paid on Party, meaning he did this whole shirtless dancing stunt and then got arrested for zero upside. Not only is he the dumbest influencer, but also the most pathetic. But what he seemingly doesn't realize is the more felonies he documents himself doing, the more charges he'll inevitably get, and the longer his criminal trial will take, or trials, because there could easily be multiple trials here, meaning he will continue to be stuck in Korea. So, instead of...
Does he want to be in Korea? Like, it seems to me like he wants to be there.
Switching things up and actually behaving to get a lighter sentence, he starts threatening the Korean government and another YouTuber. Then he gets detained again by the police.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Threaten the Korean government. Surely he threatening the government is gonna be the way you're gonna get out. I could see Vitaly. I could see Vitaly writing to Donald Trump and Donald Trump accepting him into the United States with like an award. I could totally see that happening. I don't know about Johnny though.
For doing some stunt in the park, and then to top everything off, for a small donation, he goes back out to taunt people the same day he was already detained, and 20 minutes later, the police were back on him. So we have quite a few things to talk about today, so let's start off with the strategical pivot at the Johnny Somali.
If he's banned off of all the streaming platforms, where is he posting himself doing these crimes now? Out of curiosity.
HQ.
If Korea does not let me out of Korea, I'm telling you right now, it is a danger to the Korean women. I have had
For fuck's sakes. What? $15 minutes of shame. All right, I'll take a look at that. I'll definitely take a look at that. 15 minutes of shame. Come here. So do we just search? Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! I just want to hear what he says here first. And then...
so much with Korean women while I've been locked here. I don't wear any right now. It is a danger to the Korean women. I have had so much with Korean women while I've been locked here. I don't
believe you. I think that's a lie. I don't think that that's true.
Wear any when I these Korean women. I don't get any STD tests when I these Korean women.
You realize, like, that's crime, right? Like, you guys know that that's crime. Is that crime in South Korea? That's definitely crime in Canada. If you do it, like, if you are purposefully neglectful and passing around STDs to people, it's considered assault.
I don't get any STD tests when I these Korean women. And I make sure to spread whatever I have to all of these Korean women. And the police can't stop me. The government can't stop me.
Does he think...
Okay. Gross, but sure. It is crime in South Korea. I figured as much.
The government can't stop me.
Does he think that will help him? That is a crazy thing to say when you're in a criminal trial. Now, it would be...
That's a crazy thing to say, period. That's a crazy thing to say, period. That is just assault. That is attempted murder in some cases. Like, I think you might be... Little bit of criticism here. I think you might be underplaying that. That is... Wow. Alright, I'm gonna go to the other channel. I want to see this 15 minutes... This 15 minutes of shame. Johnny Somali getting destroyed in court by new witness.
What's up, everybody? It's been a while. I hope you guys are doing fantastic. In today's video, we have several things to talk about. First of all, Johnny Somali got some terrible news regarding his upcoming deepfake case. On top of that, we have a nuisance streamer who got his phone stolen and he cried like a baby and ran to the cops. And it looks like there will be a Johnny Somali documentary airing out pretty soon.
Let me introduce myself.
A fucking documentary? Why? 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 Rumor has it Chesh is planning something big for the season finale of Star Trek Endurance. Ooh.
Take a look at
I
the
am
trailer.
Johnny
Without
Somali.
further ado,
I
let's
am
start
part
with
of
the
the
legal
criminal
update.
nuisance.
All right, so this information is coming to us from Legal Mindset and the Somali conviction team. Quick recap. He is currently facing 8 charges, 6 of which he has pled guilty to. 4 counts of obstruction of business, 2 counts of minor offense act, and 2 deepfake counts, which he has pled not guilty to. Now,
Okay, I wanna look at the chart. They put work in, I wanna look at the chart. Okay, charge, obstruction of business, facts, disrupting a 7-Eleven, penalty up to 5 years imprisonment or a fine of up to 50 million won. Obstruction of business count 2 is disrupting the bus system. Obstruction of business count 3 is disrupting a ride at Lottie World. And obstruction of business 4 is bus and NK propaganda. I'm not sure what that is. Guilty. Minor offenses, act count 1, rotting fish harassment. Minor offenses, act 2, count 2 is loud music and twerking on a bus and a metro. How do these people not get embarrassed? I don't... How do you not get embarrassed? Deepfake count 1, Korean YouTuber. Deepfake count 2, Bong Bong. Up to 7 years imprisonment and a fine of up to 100,000 won and 30 days in detention for the minor offenses. Guilty, not guilty. Okay. It's interesting that South Korea has deepfake laws. That's good to hear, at the very least.
the minor offense act and 2 deepfake counts, which he has pled not guilty to. Now, something that's really interesting, and I did
NK is North Korea propaganda? He was spouting North Korea propaganda in South Korea? Okay. All right.
didn't know is that these counts, even if he's found guilty of all of them, the sentences are concurrent. They're not consecutive, which means if he's facing maximum 5 years for the obstruction of business, it's not 5 times 4, it's just 5. So the actual maximum amount of time he could spend in prison is 12 years, not a day more. So that's good to know.
Yeah, unless there's some other thing that goes on, yeah, usually that kind of stuff stacks.
Now, there are several channels that are throwing numbers around, and at first I was guilty of that myself. I was reading articles on Duxerto and other places, and it was unclear how the South Korean justice counts these sentences. But now it's 100% clear. The maximum is 12 years. It's also worth mentioning that even if he appeals, he'll still go to jail while he's waiting for the outcome of his appeal, which is interesting because in the States, for certain crimes, if you appeal, you don't even have to do your sentence right away. So I'm glad that's not the case.
Yeah, it sounds like this guy would be better off being in jail in the meantime.
So the next trial date is October 29th, 2025, and it will focus on witness testimony. And what's really funny about this date is that
Okay, so next trial is October, so that's coming up.
it's actually the 1-year anniversary of him getting jumped in front of Hank's apartment. I remember because it was around Halloween and I posted a couple videos on Johnny Somali and it really took off from my channel. The videos were getting, 300,000, 400,000 views, dealing with the consequences of his action. Absolutely hilarious. Now, what's really interesting is that we already knew that Bong Bong and Young Man were testifying, but now the third witness is going to be a little bit of a problem for Johnny Somali. And that's because it is none other than Dalgoon himself. You see, on Halloween, October 31st, 2024, Dalgoon went behind Johnny Somali, ambushed him at his apartment, and then punched him to the ground. Now,
Is this man a hero? Is the man who punched Johnny Somali a hero? What do you think? You tell me. 1 in the chat if you think this man is a hero. 2 in the chat. Oh my my god. Why? Why is Gamora? What is happening?
He was charged and he had to pay a fine, but the community rallied, and especially donut operator, they paid the fine for him. So right now,
Oh my god, so he punched this guy and everybody went good and gave him money so he wouldn't be in trouble. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Dalgoon is completely scot-free, has no consequences whatsoever for what happened with Johnny Somali, and now he is going to be the third witness for the deepfake case, which is wonderful because he has a bone to pick with Somali. Remember,
Oh
Somali
my god, shit's coming back. It's coming back around. That's something special. That's something special. That's kind of what it feels like. Like I've been that player 3 has entered the game. I've been player 3 entering the game before. I mean, I think it's kind of what it was. I think that's how Aaron felt. I think that's how Aaron felt when I said Steve wasn't swatted. Like, player 3 has entered the game. Like, they've been going on about this whole fucking court Charla situation for months. And then Steve posts about getting swatted, and player 3 enters the game and goes, no. I've been player 3. It's a very fun place to be.
He says he doesn't snitch. He doesn't rat out anyone. People can assault him. He won't do anything. That was not the case. He ratted out Dalgoon immediately. And now payback's about to happen. So apparently there was a lot of clickbait going around that Ramsey's lawyer has quit and is no longer representing him. And of course, that's not true. Now, I didn't see this clickbait because when I see one of these AI garbage channels, I just click do not recommend and they never pop up in my feed again.
Hey, bro. Good shit. Love to hear that.
And that's the way I like it. Now, that's pretty much it for the Johnny Somali update. Let's take a look at what happened with the kick streamer Shuvi, who got his phone stolen. If you guys don't remember, Shuvi is actually the boyfriend of Xena, the kick streamer, who just got banned for 1,000 years on...
Do we just need to abolish Kick? Does Kick just need to be abolished? Is that where we're... I mean, YouTube's already bad enough. Do we really... I'm not gonna watch this part because we're talking about Johnny today, but I'm gonna check another one. This was from that video we just watched, by the way, was from 4 days ago. But I'm gonna check for another Johnny. He said he'd been doing a few of them. Here we go. 4 months ago.
W stream, are you guys enjoying the stream today? Whoa! Whoa!
See, as you can see, the more you around, the more you're going to find out.
Johnny Somali clone gets shot at after attacking the wrong guy. Why would you, Johnny Somali best friends, gives an unhinged interview 2 weeks ago? What?
When the police found you, they said they found a tactical vest, 3 magazines, handgun, 2 rifles, a shotgun, and a machete. Do you feel that you are mentally ill?
No. I could have killed that nurse. I was a perfect soldier.
Another man fondled your ass while he was jerking off. Privilege.
Yes.
Oh, that's true.
That's true. Perfect soldier material. I don't like Mexicans.
You wanted to bang some trannies there.
I really wanted to bang some trains there.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But
he put a finger in your asshole all 3 times.
Yeah.
What's up, everybody? I hope you guys enjoyed that intro. I'm telling you.
What? 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 Why? Why do you people recommend me this shit? What are we doing? What is happening? Why are we here?
You guys, you have to strap in for this one because we have a gem of a video. The YouTube channel K-Town Social Club just dropped an interview with Hank, and this is legit comedy gold. We'll start with the first segment. Hank describes how he's basically a hybrid between John Rambo, Jackie Chan, and the Terminator, and he's so insanely tough that he can...
Rambo, Jackie Chan, and the Terminator?
take on anyone.
Beaten the guy in something, and then you wanted to come on the program to clear up, that, you didn't actually get your ass beat. That you
Why did you let this person on for an interview?
could have beaten them, right?
Well, I did get my ass beat. I mean, like, you can't really beat like 5 people unless you're like a pro fighter, like so.
Right.
I mean, I don't deny I do not deny getting my ass beat. I just bunch of Korean YouTubers and like Korean media are like trying to say that it was one brave Korean warrior against three obnoxious Americans, like single-handedly, blah blah blah. No, I mean, no, that's not what happened at all.
So is that what the Korean?
Oh. What? What? Johnny Somali is living with Hank. Yeah, Hank is his financial backer, right? This is the one guy who's like got Johnny Somali's back, is this guy, right? He thinks he's Rambo, Jackie Chan, and the Terminator, and he can't beat up 5 guys. Yeah, 5 guys outside of 5 guys. What is this? What is this actual dumpster hole that, like, what are these people? What? 20K down the drain? That's it? Only 20K? The fact that this has only cost them 20K so far is actually, like, baffling. Faces 31 years after new charge. This is from May. I've got a couple of the legal mindset ones as well. This one's also from May. This one's from 5 days ago.
IRL streamer walking out of court realizing he's completely destroyed his life. And now he's facing a max sentence of over 40 years in prison once you add up all of his charges together. 6 of which he's already pleaded guilty to. And things just keep getting worse for this guy because he refuses to apologize. He keeps on doubling down on his moronic behavior, and at this point, he's just completely digging his own grave. To the point where he's honestly really going for that #1 spot of the Influencer Hall of Fame morons. Now, you may be asking, how is this possible? Well, he's built an entire career off of harassing people in public. He went to Japan to do exactly this. And
Yeah, just to clarify, the time served is not year after year after year after year. It's served at the same time. So we looked at that getting corrected by 15 minutes of shame. So 15 minutes of shame is correct. The 41 year, like, so when they're saying like 41 years, they're saying 30 years. They were counting as if like you got 5 years for this crime and this crime and this crime and this crime when it's just 5. So for anybody confused.
Quickly found out because people started confronting him all the time. And it's crazy how much I called what was going to happen over 2 years ago.
You're from America?
Yes.
So am I.
You're from America.
Yeah, you're being obnoxious.
You know what we do to you?
What do you do?
We will do again.
Do what?
His career path is now limited.
I'm sorry, was he just threatening to nuke Japan? Is that what I understood he was saying? Like, there's a Japanese American there saying, hey, I'm from America, stop, you're being obnoxious, and he's like, we're gonna do it to you again? Like, what, bomb Japan? Like, but you're talking to an American, you dumb fuck? Why? Okay. All right. You know what? Props to this guy. Who was that? This guy. This guy's a bro. This dude in the blue shirt. Good shit. Good for you. Good job. I applaud Blue Shirt Man. Good job, Blue Shirt Man, for calling out this dipshit.
What do you do?
We will do again.
Do what?
His career path is now limited, to say the least. He can keep streaming to the morons who are entertained by his behavior, but at some point, being disrespectful like this will either get stale or it's going to catch up to him in the worst way possible.
But back then, he ended up being chased down by alleged Yakuza members. He was forced to apologize multiple times.
He got chased by the Yakuza? Is that real? Actually, like, legitimate? How did they find... No. No, wait. No. Multiple incidents related to the Yakuza. What? Oh my god, it's actually real. What? Yakuza gets revenge on this streamer. Yakuza targets hated streamer again. Johnny Somali will not survive Yakuza in Japan prisons.
Break down, brother, how, Yakuza do things, brother, in prison, brother.
Let's just say it's not going to be pleasant. It'll be a little, I'm just being polite. Let's just say will not be pleasant. He will have harm. It'll take him
He will have harm? Okay.
A while to recover from what they do to him. They'll probably keep him there extra just to make sure any sign of damage is healed up, so nobody can tell on the outside.
This was from a year ago. Passport Bros and my fellow Passport Bro streamer Johnny Somali was arrested in September of 2023 for unruly conduct and trespassing. Passport Bro Theo WAF explains that Johnny Somali will not survive Yakuza and Japanese prisons, and he will have a tough time there. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. I have some questions about the name Passport Bros, but I can put that to the side for now.
I would say it'll be extremely brutal what they did to him.
So the Yakuza really are as fair as, the legends say, the stories say. These dudes are ruthless, animals.
Yep.
Jeez.
So on the streets, they're actually very fine. So like, let's say they met him on the streets, they would just walk around him because they're like, you're a disturbance, you're a peasant. We don't want to deal with you. So they just go around, not do anything with him. If he chased them down on the street and did stuff, then they would educate him on the street. If he's in jail and there's no cameras around and no guards around, I can't imagine what they do. It'll make American jails look like amateurs. So they will go after him.
I guess there is a question if you want like a comparable reference to like what the Yakuza engage in versus what like the Bloods and the Crips engage in America, right? Like that would be the... Yeah, I know what a Passport Bro is. That's why I'm questioning, what are these guys like we're traveling to other countries to find women to fuck because nobody likes us? Is that the type of Passport Bro they're talking about?
Isn't he protected as an American citizen? Doesn't he have that American privilege that, listen, don't touch me, you can't touch me, I'm American?
Yeah, no, that's not a thing. That's, you don't touch me, I'm an American, the Yakuza aren't gonna fuck with you? Yeah, no, that's not, no way.
They're gonna touch him, alright. Yeah.
But he's American, bro. He's got that American privilege, that American citizenship. You can't touch Americans.
No.
I don't think that exists anywhere. In fact, I don't even know where you got that idea from. That because you're an American, nobody's gonna fucking touch you. Like anybody gives a shit.
No call to a lawyer. He has got no right to a lawyer. He has got no right to a steed. to a trial. He has got no constitutional rights whatsoever. You have no rights, zero.
The Yakuza also doesn't care. Like, we're not talking about the police, we're talking about the Yakuza. The Yakuza is not gonna give a shit if you have the right to a lawyer. What's a lawyer gonna do? Fucking nothing? Fucking nothing, probably. Let's see a different one. Let's see what this one says. Oh, it's Oompaville!
Welcome back to another crazy epic video on the Oopaville channel. Somebody got punched in the face. Why do we care about it? Well, because it's huge news. It's a big W for the internet in general, and also for us as a channel.
I haven't watched Oompaville since I watched his depressing as fuck interview with Mr. Beast. That made me sad.
As a family, as a community. A lot of minors in the audience. I gotta be careful. If you're a minor, leave. Is that funny to joke about? Is there boogers in my nose? The worst streamer on the internet is back in the news. And by news, I mean on my channel, guys.
Be a groupie hoe? Y'all right like you in the movie hoe? What's up? Okay, hold up. Where my shit at?
And it's good news this time. Last time it was kind of almost good news. Remember this guy, Johnny Somali? Really awesome fellow, right?
Say you're sorry. I don't have no problem with Japan. Okay. Yeah, but say you're sorry. Sorry for what incident?
This dude is Japan's biggest hater, Johnny Somali. This young fellow was run
This video that we're looking at is from September 2023.
out of Japan by an alleged Yakuza member, and he is forced to bow and apologize.
People of Japan, Paul Danino, Ice Poseidon, everybody. CX in the chat.
The reason that he had a target for the Yakuza painted on his back was because he was terrorizing the people of Japan in a bunch of different ways. Here's a few funny little examples. He was blasting racist music at the Japanese Disney World. He also just taunted citizens in public as well, saying, "Hiroshima, Nagasaki, you know what we did to you?" to people on like a train in public. What a nice guy. What a nice guy. It's amazing that he has a platform to stream on Kick. Kick loves this guy.
As of now, he does not have a Kick. He's not on Kick anymore, from my understanding.
We'll get into that also, by the way. We got some insider info from someone balls deep in this entire drama. So people had had enough of Johnny Somali, and he eventually went to Thailand to get away from his 5-star wanted level from the Yakuza. That was in his Instagram bio. It was a 5-star wanted level. He was then found again in Thailand by alleged Yakuza members and said that if he comes to Japan again, he's dead.
Kabikicho. Shinjuku. Whoa, what the hell was that?
Whether or not they're actual Yakuza members, I don't really care. I don't really have like a...
I don't understand how stuff like this goes on for so long. Like, I understand that, like, the legal system is slow and, like, it takes time for the legal, like, because it's bureaucratic. So by definition, it's a little bit sluggish. But at the same time, I don't...
a database of organized crime groups that I can sift through personnel files. Also, these alleged Yakuza members are wearing some pretty awesome flip-flops. I like their stances too. They're kind of standing funny. They're kind of standing a little unique. I like it. During this man's time in Thailand, you can see just how disgusting and slimy the audience that he's fostered is. They try to get him into some stuff all the time. Some very unique stuff.
I'm sure his audience is trolling the shit out of him and just seeing what they can get him to do. That doesn't surprise me at all. That's the kind of content when you're walking around like that and they're telling him to do things and then he does the thing. That's yeah.
Such as
Anonymous sent $2. Agent Black. The Marbella police have wired you $100,000. Great work identifying this felon criminal. We will apprehend him soon. Tell him you need to leave and go home now so we can make the arrest.
Okay, here.
Who executive?
Right.
Which group executive?
No group. Oh my.
Chat tried to get someone to beat the shit out of him, which would have been awesome, but I don't condone violence ever in any circumstance ever, unless, no, I'm just kidding, not unless. There's I do not condone violence. Violence is never the answer. Not even from an incredibly long word. Also added everyone to invite them to watch a drunk girl get naked in a Discord call. very awesome. Our boy Johnny has been harassing people. That's just what he does. His whole brand is just harassing people and being an absolute degenerate. And whenever people get mad at him, he says that they're racist. That's like his whole shtick, his whole brand.
Oh, what? A whole shtick of a guy, a person of color, a man person of color running around, and when he gets criticized, screams racism? Never heard that before. That never happens. People would never use their race to hide from criticism. No, that would never happen at all. What? Now, okay, all right, you guys have convinced me. I'm a little bit invested. I am now a little bit invested to know that this man gets the book thrown at him. Like, absolutely gets the book tossed at his face. Because that clearly is what needs to happen, right? Is this the one where they were at the courtroom? Yeah. This is the one where they're actually at the courtroom. I think.
Things, like last time things went awful for Johnny, this time it went terrible. He even got humiliated in court. I mean, it was really bad from the start. And just to start things off, I'm going to run through the whole trial so you guys kind of get a picture of how things were.
All right, chat, I'm asking, like, I want to know your guys' opinion. Is this going to be, like, a precedent-setting sort of case in South Korea for Johnny? Like, is Johnny basically going to set, like, the standard for legal proceedings for anybody who engages in this kind of behavior in the future? Yeah, this was the most recent court, which was 13 days ago. Yeah. Yep. I'm curious about your opinions on this, because, like, this is probably the most white people in a Korean courtroom ever. Yeah. It's probably precedent setting. You think so? It's the only thing about nuisance streamers I watch. Their legal problems are therapy. Yeah. You got lost? So this guy named Johnny Somali, who was a streamer that ran around and harassed people in other countries, is now in legal trouble with those other countries. And so we're sort of getting a rough outline, an idea of what the hell is going on and what they're facing. So the next trial date is in October. And he was like harassing people and threatening women and claiming that he's been running around giving women STDs and stuff and harming them, as like making threat. This guy got ran out of, allegedly the Yakuza ran him out of Japan. And then there's the other guy, the American-Russian Vitaly, who's in trouble for doing the same thing, but he's in the Philippines. I think, yeah, that's a good question. What extent do I mean by setting a precedent? Well, I'm wondering if there's being a legal precedent set because they haven't necessarily tried anything like this before. And I'm wondering if they're gonna, I'm curious if they're gonna throw the book at him harder just to make an example of him so it doesn't happen again. Or to, like, dissuade people from doing this kind of thing.
Even though you guys weren't there. So there was a few people there. There wasn't that many people this time. But Johnny at 3:59, Johnny's lawyer came in. So right on time for the trial and so on. Then at 4, a woman walked in who apparently...
Man, you sure do gotta love it when people show up at the very last second for their own court. Having his lawyer show up at the last second, cringe.
He was a witness. We didn't know of her. We hadn't seen her. We were assuming that Bong Bong was gonna testify today, but apparently not. Then at 4:03, Hank walked in. And that also confirmed that Hank is still associated with Johnny. Then...
That's that crazy guy that we saw was doing the interview. Where, this guy. This insanity of a person.
At 4:05, so this is 5 minutes after his trial started, Johnny was still not there. So Hank, he starts panicking and talking to the lawyer, and they don't know where Johnny is. So then Hank has to run out of the courtroom and I guess call Johnny and figure out where this guy is.
So the lawyer showed up 1 minute before court and Johnny didn't show up on time.
So moving on with my notes here, let's see, 1 second. Then we have at 4:07, Johnny then walks in, this time respectfully, in a fitting suit. It seems like Johnny realized how bad things were and finally took the cue and he was like, okay, I'm gonna lock in because clearly things are not going well for him. So then everyone sits down, or everyone stands up, judge walks in, everyone sits down, okay, court starts. So then at 4:12, Johnny then confirms that he is still a quote unquote student and that he still actually lives at Hank's house. So that's interesting because Hank is going on to say, oh, Johnny does not live with me. I do not help Johnny anymore. I'm not associated with him anymore. Apparently that's not true. So then we have the 8 charges that he's currently facing. Right. I have Gabe with me here who's been helping me translate and also
Johnny's first hearing, he turned up an hour late drunk with a MAGA hat on. Is it internet brain rot? Is that what it is? Is it just internet brain rot? Is this because I don't like, I'm just likening it to my court experiences, and like Johnny is doing this online, but he's also doing it in real life, right? Like he's going out and he's like filming himself. And with, like, I'm likening it to, like, my experiences with Aaron and Veda and how not seriously they've taken court in their scenario as well. And I'm like, I don't get it. If the internet didn't exist, what would these people be doing? And I have a hard time believing that these people would be living normally. Like, I have a hard time believing that, like, that Johnny would be a healthy, well, balanced individual in his real life if he'd never streamed. I have a hard time believing that Erin would be like a non-toxic member of society if she never streamed. You know what I mean? So like it tweaks my brain in a way that I'm just trying to be like, if you removed this part of the scenario from these people, what would they be doing? And I get the feeling that they would be isolated and disliked in general, right? Just isolated and disliked in general. And in Johnny's case, because Johnny seems to be such an extreme individual, he'd probably be on the street somewhere. Like, I have a hard time believing that he'd like, you know what I mean? Does what I'm saying make sense? Lack of respect for the system. Lack of respect for the system. Lack of respect for anybody else. Main character syndrome. Like, they can't live normally or integrate into basic society, and they're self-induced outcasts. Yeah, I mean, yeah. And I mean, I don't know.
Find all the location and everything, you know, and so on. So shout out to this man for being here. But essentially, so there's the first charges they talked about were it was the business obstruction charges, and they were related to the buses.
Yes,
correct?
This is the new charge that they announced today. So this is the one that we didn't know for sure, but I predicted was going to be the bus incident on the 27th.
So that was,
and like these things are applicable like globally. This isn't just like, oh, this like Johnny's like Florida man. You know what I mean? He's like you're just a general problem to the public, but you're not enough of a threat to the public for us to really do anything about it. Whereas like with the addition of Kick and people encouraging him to do other things, he is a threat. And then he's gone and traveled to other countries and just completely disregards their laws as if like that makes any fucking sense. And it's just like, I feel like you should just get fucking kicked out like really quick. Like, why are they letting him do this?
Was it 7011 bus or was it 7013A?
It was 7011 and 7013A.
Okay, and then you had another bus 20. Oh, so it was a 2024 incident. That's why it was bus 2024. Okay,
yes,
so that's
yes.
okay.
This is
right.
something that happened in 2024.
Okay.
So that's why, that's also why they're adding it to this case, among many reasons, is because it was all around the same time. So they consider this a crime spree.
Okay, and so the first two disturbances. So the first.
That makes sense. A bunch of incidents all put together being tried at the same time tracks. Johnny the International Florida Man. Yeah, that does say International Man of Mystery. International Man of Florida.
Bus that was for playing NK propaganda on the bus, and then the second one was for just text-to-speech donations and just disturbing the peace on the bus. So
this is the kind of place where an argument for rehabilitation exists. Is Johnny, could he be rehabilitated? Is there a way for Johnny to exist in and integrate into society? Any society? Is that possible? And if it were possible, how would you handle it? Would you, what kind of methods would you think would be successful?
Noises and
loud
refusing
noises.
to turn it down.
Yes.
Causing a disturbance, and also the live streaming. That in itself they consider to be a disturbance. That making other people feel uncomfortable if you have your camera. Like right now we're here, we're not putting people in the frame, right? If you're on a bus, you're live streaming other people as well.
Yeah.
So that's considered a disturbance as well.
So then at 4:15, you had that moment where they went, "Oh, if you change the time."
Johnny claims to be a psychopath. I don't know if I believe him. Besides the fact that you would have to be assessed, and I doubt he's been assessed, but if we take his word for it, that sounds like that sounds like a LARP to me. As somebody who behaves like Johnny just coming out and saying, yeah, well, I'm a psychopath, sounds more like oh, look I'm a badass. Look, I have this tag of a psychopath. You better not mess with me. Like, it's a LARP. It's not, he doesn't actually have psychopathy. Usually, from my reading and understanding of people with psychopathy, they don't tend to fucking let everybody know about it, or even when they do, they're not, it's not like the movies, you know what I mean?
Time we plead guilty here. And that didn't fully make sense to me. So, what was that about? Because that was what Johnny's team said.
It's very common.
Yeah, it's a justification. It's an excuse. It's a way to, you don't believe him either? Yeah.
Accusation to have some small mistake, like it could be a date or a time or a location. It doesn't really matter.
Okay.
If you say no, it wasn't this day, it was that day, it's still a crime. It doesn't matter. But Johnny nitpicks about stuff like this, and the lawyer brought that up as an argument. And so the compromise was, do you admit to everything except the date that this happened? Yes, he admits to everything except for the date. Okay, that's a guilty plea.
Okay, so yeah, then he pled guilty for all
So he's like, oh, I definitely did all these things, but the date's wrong, therefore you can't convict me. Fucking, wow. Really leaning on that, going for the technically correct. That's not gonna fly. True psychopaths will never warn you they are dangerous. No, well, again, it's like any other mental state, right? Like, not every psychopath is somebody who's actually dangerous. It's usually a combination of things. So if the dark triad, for example, it's psychopathy mixed with narcissism mixed with Machiavellianism, but you need all three to be a dangerous individual. Right? So just being a narcissist, just being a psychopath, just being Machiavellian doesn't make you a bad person. Right? When you start combining those psychoses together, and you're a bad person, then you start... That's when you have your problem. But just having psychopathy doesn't make you a bad person. Just being a narcissist doesn't make you a bad person. Being a bad person makes you a bad person, regardless of whatever your mental state is, right? Just having ADD doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make you necessarily a bad student in class either, right? It's just a matter of knowing how to manage your shit. Does that mean that people can't be dangerous? No, it just doesn't inherently mean that they are just because they have X, Y, or Z.
The obstruction charges. So all 4 obstruction of business charges, he pled guilty for.
Right.
Then, so because of that plea, then the witness got up and left because they no longer needed her to testify against him, because we're assuming that the witness was one of the workers at Lotte World who witnessed him, disrupt and stop the ride and do all the stuff he did there.
Yeah, when she turned around, I recognized her from the video.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay,
100%. I recognized her from the video.
Okay. So then you had the whole deepfake charges. So the lawyer then said that Johnny was intoxicated. So they used him being intoxicated as an excuse for why he distributed those.
Their number one argument is that,
But Your Honor, I was drunk. Like I said, this isn't Florida. This is South Korea.
This was his lawyer finally making an argument, which they've been asking him to do.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's what you're supposed to do in court.
Yeah.
And he keeps saying, oh, I gave you the evidence, or oh, I'll tell you later. But finally they got him to make an argument, and his number one argument was he did not produce the deepfakes, even though I think he probably did. He did not produce the deepfakes. All he did was to distribute them. So you admit to distributing them.
Right. Okay. So yeah, so that's essentially what happened. Yeah.
But he is insisting on a not guilty plea. So it looks like his lawyer or somebody was able to convince him that the Lotte World charge was a lost cause. And so that's what,
This is reminding me of being like, oh, no, Your Honor, I didn't commit this crime because I was too busy committing this crime over here.
he gave.
Interesting.
Guilty plea, changing the plea from not guilty to guilty for Lotte World.
Yeah.
But insisting on not guilty for the deepfakes.
Okay. And then that's when a new dialogue started, because that's when the prosecution wanted to bring in witnesses for the deepfakes, and Johnny's lawyer did not want witnesses involved at all.
Right.
So then, what happened after they didn't want witnesses? What did the judge say, and how was the reaction of the court then?
This was interesting. Since
You think they're gonna go with all of the witnesses are lying. Everyone's a liar but me. It's all a conspiracy. Fucking Amber Heard over here.
He got overruled when he tried to block the witnesses.
Yeah.
They do not want Bong Bong to testify. They don't want They don't want either of them to testify. That's
okay.
Clear. We know.
Yeah.
We know. We've known that for a long time. But yes, he was actively in court trying to block them, and he was overruled on that.
Okay.
So, but since they're having the witnesses,
So the court's letting the witnesses go through.
The lawyer requested more time than usual.
Okay.
To examine them.
So
why?
What's a normal time to examine someone, you think?
It depends on the case, and then all that, they'll set it, and for this they set 15 minutes for the defense for the lawyer to interview the witnesses. They set 15 minutes, and since he couldn't block it, he wanted more time with the witnesses, which means if they can't block the witnesses, they really want to grill them. So he might be planning on going all in on Bong Bong.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 15 minutes is not a long period of time. That's really, really short. So for example, in the most recent case I was witnessing in, I was on the stand for an hour-ish, roughly. When I was last year, whenever I was for Aaron and Veda, I was up there for almost 2 hours. If not 2 hours. I'd have to double check. Honestly, I don't remember exactly how long it was, but it was long. I could probably find out, but...
Wow, okay, so is it Johnny's lawyer that's grilling Bong Bong, or the prosecution that's grilling Bong Bong?
It'll be first the prosecution for 15 minutes, and
Yeah.
then next is Johnny's lawyer for 15 minutes.
Okay.
And then the judge will let them
You would not believe the amount of time that the people questioning me wasted on asking me about fucking Steve.
some questions as well.
And that, okay, and then you have another witness as well. So it'll be ×2, essentially.
Exactly. Yeah. And
Interesting.
And then another ×2 because they're going to do a translation for everything.
Oh,
So
wow.
You know what? At least we're gonna give Johnny something. Johnny actually has a lawyer, which is, at least one step above every other fucking case that we've been covering for the company. At least Johnny has a lawyer.
Making it twice as long, yeah.
Okay. And that's happening in October. And then other than that, so then you had what were the minor crimes charges? Were they ever brought up during this case or trial?
That is settled that the plea is guilty.
Okay.
So, minor crimes, and now we can say obstruction of business. The plea is guilty for 6 charges.
Okay. Interesting. And so overall, how was Johnny's lawyer?
Flustered, definitely out of his depth. I kind of feel bad for him.
Yeah.
I know he was pressured by Hank's family to be a part of this case. And
okay, but what makes Hank so big of a player in this? Like, why? Like, Hank's family has money. He's supporting Johnny. Is it just because Hank is crazy? Why is Hank's family doing this? Like, is he somebody with like some kind of position of power in South Korea? Like, is he like a tycoon? Like, what is this guy?
I think he's trying to do his best to balance between Johnny and normalcy.
Yeah.
Sane, actual normal procedure.
Yeah. And how is the prosecution handling this case, you feel like?
He's rich and incredibly dumb. Is that it? He's just our dumb rich person? Oh boy.
I mean, obviously very professional.
Okay.
Right.
So would you consider them to be pretty aggressive on this case, or how would you rate it?
Yes, I would say today they were aggressive on it. And the paradox is, how can you simultaneously admit to having distributed?
Yeah.
Which is the crime that it's accused of.
Is Hank's family like old rich? And so like they have a family name or something that like matters or is important, and like is Hank just dragging them through the mud? Is that what I'm understanding? Yeah, okay. I understand why you don't want me to go down the Hank rabbit hole, but the Hank rabbit hole almost seemed more interesting.
And insist on this not guilty plea.
Yeah.
That's insane. That's just, it's thinking, the more I think about it, the crazier it is. But
yeah.
That's what we just witnessed.
Wow.
Is this lawyer using Johnny's argument?
Yeah.
Saying basically, I didn't make it, so I'm not guilty. Even though, again, I think he did.
And also, like, the whole charge is for the distribution. So they're like, oh, we didn't make it. I did distribute it, though. But I was drunk. That's essentially what we're seeing unfold.
Yes, that's the mental gymnastics.
But Your Honor, I'm just an idiot.
That we saw happen today. Lawyer was very flustered, turning red, stuttering. I don't think he has a natural stutter like Hank, but he does have a strange way of talking.
Yeah.
But he definitely seemed very uncomfortable.
Interesting. Did the judge give any reaction to this, or was he confused, or how was the judge reacting to this?
The judge, as usual, is very, sort of above everything, above the fray, and was very calm and very patient with the process. But he's also the one who said, no, you cannot block these witnesses, and no, you cannot extend your,
Sounds like the judge is doing a good job then.
Interview time with them.
Right.
Cross-examination.
Wow. Do you have any other overall thoughts on this trial?
That was crazy. That was just insane.
And
just all this stuff, there's so much stuff that's just unprecedented. It's stuff you just don't do.
Okay, yeah, so this is just an absolutely not a normal trial.
This is like, it's almost like Monty Python.
Really? Okay,
yeah,
so it is just a full-on clown fest.
It's a clown fest.
Okay.
It is absolutely a clown fest.
If you were going to give a prediction of like how the prosecution was and like in previous cases you've seen in Korea, what do you think the most likely sentence that he will get from all this is?
At this point, I think the prosecutor is going to say something like 4 or 5 years. Maybe.
Wow. Okay.
Because of Johnny's insistence.
Yeah.
And because of his insincerity with his guilty pleas.
Yeah. And now, I mean, finally.
And the fact that he keeps fucking doing it, even though he's not.
He's locked in, but it also seems like it's kind of too late to start acting like he's actually sorry. Because he didn't actually act like he was sorry today. He was just being respectful. He was being a normal person today, from what I saw. And that's really it. Yeah,
And I think that's telling, though. That to me tells me something, at the very least. If you got somebody who runs around and acts like a crazy person all the fucking time, and then turn around and they can show up and be like, just act like a completely normal person, it means whatever they were doing before was entirely, inherently intentional and fake. So it's a persona. So Johnny's whole fucking persona it's not real. He can just be normal if he wants to be fucking normal. He's just purposefully not being normal to cause havoc on purpose. Right? It's the same with like, I guess you could say the same thing about like Andrew Tate. He acts like a fucking lunatic until he doesn't, and he's just like, right? right? Like, it doesn't fucking, it's not real. It's not, like, nobody acts like this. This is not normal behavior, and it's, like, not, because when somebody does have issues or instabilities or has, like, they're not running around filming it for money. They're doing it because it's impulsive and they can't control it. Johnny can clearly control it. If he can clearly control it, then he's doing it on purpose and it's fake. So, like, it doesn't mean he didn't do the crime. It doesn't mean he didn't do the thing where there shouldn't be consequences. It means the consequences should be even greater because it's clearly fucking intentional, right? It's like having the insanity plea, right? His fake persona is gonna land him in for real prison. Yeah, right? Like, why? Why would you do this? I don't understand what, like, I mean, I guess I can understand getting, like, caught up in the moment, and I can understand getting, like, caught in the high and then becoming the joke, right? When you become the gimmick. Johnny's been dodging consequences for years. This time, though, the internet decided to feed the prosecutors everything he's done before this. Uh-oh, the internet got involved. It's always fascinating when the internet gets involved. 8 to 10 years for the current charges. Yeah, I mean, and the question is like, if and when they let him out, what does he do? And, like, that'll be something to look at to see, like, if he just goes back to doing exactly what he was doing. Now, Johnny's not going through deportation. It's Vitaly that's going through deportation and got rejected. Johnny isn't going through deportation as far as they've said or that I've found out so far. So if he's not going through deportation, like, when he gets out of jail, then does he go through deportation? Maybe. He might go through a deportation process. That feeling when the internet decides they're done playing with you? That's like that. I mean, that's what happened to Rakita. That's a big part of what happened to Rakita Law, right? It was in real life consequences mixed with the internet being like, nah. Face deportation in years once the Philippines decide to move on with the case. Yeah, so with Vitality, what we found specifically is that the deportation has been rejected so far by Russia and the United States, not by the Philippines. He wouldn't actually get deported yet until he was done with whatever the law enforcement and the legal system decided needed to happen. But he might not even get deported because they're not going to take him. The United States and Russia have rejected him getting sent back. Yeah. No longer be deported, as both the Russian and the United States government have declined to accept him. So I mean, it might happen later. It might come back up, but I don't know what happens to him after that. Any insights on the season finale? The trailer's out for the season finale. Go check it out. Imagine being so repugnant that Russia doesn't want you. Well. Yeah, I don't. Deportation is not on the charts for Johnny yet either. Yeah, not yet. Not yet. I'm just wondering if it will be later. Like, once he's done serving, he might get deported. I wouldn't surprise me in the slightest, to be honest, but I don't know for sure. So I guess we'll be back in October to check to see what happens, to see what he ends up with. I don't think there's been any Andrew Tate updates. Andrew Tate was he was deported to Florida and then arrested in Florida for sex trafficking, right? Or was it sex trafficking? No, it wasn't sex trafficking. It was something else. Hold on. What was he arrested for? Hold on. Let me double check. pull it up. Attorney General of Florida has opened a criminal investigation of Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan after the pair were able to fly into the state last week despite facing trial in Romania on charges of rape, sex with a minor, and people trafficking and money laundering. State Attorney General by the Florida Governor Ron DeSantis said on Tuesday has become an active criminal investigation of the brothers and was prepared to use the full force of the law in his examination of their conduct. These guys have themselves publicly admitted to participating in what much appears to be soliciting, trafficking, and preying upon women around the world. Many of these victims are coming forward. Some of them are minors. People can spin or defend however they want, but in Florida, this type of behavior is viewed as atrocious unless it's the president doing it. We're not going to accept it. So yeah, it was sex trafficking. Yeah. Donald Trump Jr., who described the detention as absolute insanity. Trump aide Elon Musk responded to any suggestion from Andrew Tate that he would, quote, run for Prime Minister of the UK by saying he's not wrong. Oh, okay, yeah. Have Andrew Tate run for Prime Minister in the UK. I'm sure that'll go well. Is it just me, or, like, does these seem like the same kind of people? Like, Andrew and Tristan Tate seem like the same kind of fucking people as Johnny Somali, who seems like the same kind of person as Vitaly, who seems like the same kind of person. Like, this is the same fucking shit. It's the same kind of shit. Like, and I don't know how or why this shit goes as far as it does before legal takes over, or before people stop following them. Like, Sneeko, same way. Like, I don't understand. Like, I don't know why people, like, I understand that people like watching a train wreck, but, like, it goes so far. It goes so fucking far, and I just don't, I don't know. We should wrap up there, though. We'll talk more about this in the near future and keep an eye on these things and see where they go from here. This is my first foray into it. I'm doing my best not to fall down the Hank hole, because this Hank hole seems like a nightmare, and I'm kind of afraid of it. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of scary. So, I'm gonna get out of here. I'll be live over on Low Energy Vids tomorrow. I don't know what I'm covering tomorrow here, but I will definitely, if you don't see me here tomorrow, I'll definitely be back on Thursday. So, same bat time, same bat place, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. I don't give a shit. Like, don't subscribe. Don't come back. Go away. Everything is awful. Everything sucks. Stay away from me. Bye!
This guy is unfucking believable.